Pyayantu. वांग में मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो में वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य मआणिस्थ श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ May my speech be firmly established in my mind. May my mind too be firmly established in my speech. May there be perfect correspondence between my thoughts, words and actions. May the self-effulgent one shine forth in my consciousness. May the truths of the scriptures come to me. May not what I learn from them ever forsake me. Let me live my life day and night according to their teachings. I shall speak what is appropriate. I shall speak the truth. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel that I am surrounded by the infinite ocean of luminosity, luminous, all-pervading existence itself. It is inside me, outside me. Only the pot of ego is creating a separation as I and you, inside and outside. This spot, the ego, is dissolving in this luminous, infinite existence. Let us feel this process of dissolution of the ego. As the ego is dissolved, gone, all distinctions, all separations, all those terms which earlier made sense have become meaningless. There is no inside or outside, no I and you. The old awareness of I is gone. There is no birth, no death, no change. No time or space. All these ideas born out of ignorance have disappeared. It is indescribable, tremendously beautiful and blissful. Ocean of luminosity. I am that. So friends, let us repeat the three Buddha salutations or refuge vows. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami.
Buddham Sharanam Gacchami.
Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami.
Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami.
Sangham Sharanam Gacchami.
Sangham Sharanam Gacchami.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
I take refuge in the enlightened one, awakened one, the Buddha. I take refuge in the doctrine and the path shown by Buddha. I take refuge in the tradition or the order of Buddha. Om, peace, peace, peace. So we shall begin today the third chapter in this discussion. It is about how to develop this Bodhicitta. Means the cultivation. It is something that one can try to attain to. It is not that it suddenly appears. A human being can make attempts to get that, and there is a procedure, and that is actually the fourth of the Four Noble Truths, that there is a path that by which one can realize this experience of nirvana or the freedom from all sufferings. There is a path. So we can develop our lives in accordance with this. That it is not that there was one Buddha and then he told a few very nice things, but it is not for us, because we are in this world, we are fraught with so many worries, and my surroundings are not very helpful to me. Such thoughts are not very helpful. We have to determine, this is one aspect of a bodhicitta, that the heart, where now it has made a resolve that I want to be free from sufferings. And although everybody wants to be free from suffering, most of us live a life which goes to intensify that suffering. More worries, more concerns, more desires, and all that seems to be unending, and we just do a useless thought comes that, oh, this is the world, this is how we are, and we are not those saintly people. But these saintly people, they are not just born saintly, and they do something to change their lives. and thus they get called saints. That is a great incident in the life of Buddha, where one of his disciples was praising him that nobody in the world is uh, like you, nobody was in the past like you, nobody in the future will be like you. And Buddha said, wow, that means you know all those who were before this, you will also know all those after this, and you know everybody that is at the moment. And then he explained that, see, everybody can be a Buddha. Uh, what made us Buddha? What made me Buddha? I was born Siddhartha, like an ordinary person. I did something, I learned something, I discarded some of the false notions, I got and held on to that, and which leads to uh, mm, beyond suffering, and I discarded all that that makes me just stuck into the suffering. So, and thus I am called Buddha, and whosoever does this becomes Buddha. There is no special uh, that person. Whosoever does this gets it. This is a science, friends. That well, that this is truth, and anybody can get it. Just as anybody with the proper directions can drive and come here, like this Shiva Yogi. He started from near Philadelphia this morning, and then around 1 o'clock he reached here following the directions. The directions showed that this is lot of traffic here, and take that road. So accordingly, by following the directions, and he reaches here. So bodhicitta also can be developed, that our urge in life to, to imbibe this can be developed. There is no scope for despair or depression. That, oh no, I am not like that. The such every people have to be born like that. I was not like that. So that is not uh, helpful at all. It is therefore important. Nobody likes actually if that analogy is given. And do you like to shoot yourself? No, no, no. But holding on to such thoughts that in this life what can I do, and so forth, that is not a right attitude. Let us start earnestly right now, right here, and it can be developed. There is a process that is going to be told in this chapter. In the first chapter, it was told the special characteristics of this uh, bodhicitta, means the um, chitta or the mind that has come to this resolution and has decided to walk on the path. It is the active bodhicitta, and that is called in English translation was the engaging bodhicitta. Means it is not just a passive information, but now the person now has embarked on the path. It was described that it is that person uh, wishing to go, and the person who has determined to go. The two things are different. That mm, one of the plays of that one very famous playwright, it is written that there are many willing spirits, but few have spirited wills. So it is a matter of spirited wills. Otherwise, yes, I have, I believe in God and I am religious, but I have so many other problems, so many other things. Mm. So, uh, only just instead of trying to dig out excuses to not follow the right path, if we just use that much time and energy to walk on the path, that will take us a great distance. But we use our brain power and the energy and time to find out why I don't want or I cannot go on this path. I am reminded by that of that person. Our actually one of the swamis in our order, with whom I had some work. So I said, "Can I speak to you for 5 minutes? I have some work." He said, "You know how busy I am. There are so many things I have to do. What do you think?" He was at that time General Secretary of the order. Is General Secretary means what? Just I have nothing else but to talk to people like you, eh? And so he went on for half an hour to tell me that why he cannot give me 5 minutes. So, what I mean is we spend so much energy, so much time in finding out excuses for not doing what is called sadhana. They not to walk on this path. So therefore there has to be this determination, and with the determination things will fall in place. So in the second chapter that we saw, it is the description of how uh, without this following the path of the uh, this awakened one, the dharma, what is my situation? How terribly sinful my life becomes, how wretched I become without that. And that is just to inspire us. It is not just to harp on that, I am a sinner, not for that, but to see without that to what pitiable situation we get reduced to. So this now, what one who wants to walk on this path, what this person should do. So now the first some verses are about how the priorities in life need to get changed. He agreed with me by sneezing. Yeah, so priorities of life, uh, they have to be changed. And that is how you stop going to the on the wrong path and come to the right path. So normal common priorities are now gone, and he says here that as in the previous chapters we cannot read all the verses, just a few verses that we will take up. I rejoice in the accumulation of virtue that release living beings from the samsaric rebirth and leads them to the state of nirvana, the supreme, permanent inner peace. I rejoice in that. Otherwise, where are our joys? In they just animal creature pursuits. That is our joy. It should change. It is the life caught up in samsara that rejoice when I get a few pennies more. Wow, how nice it is. If I don't get, it is what a sad time it is. Just let us keep on talking about how the inflation has become so much, and the politicians, they are constant topics, right from my childhood. I have been hearing these things. When people come together, oh, these days the inflation has gone up so much. Things have become so pricey now, so costly. The life has become very difficult. Everything is so costly. Right from my childhood, I have been hearing these things. Nothing has changed. Because that is the talk. And all politicians are so corrupt. I agreed, but why keep on talking about it all the time? That is the priority of common people. That talk about weddings and parties and gatherings, and then all that. It is even when you go for a religious function. um, uh, One very devoted lady, I met her sometime in Chicago. So she told somebody that why didn't go to Durga Puja. She said, well, what is there? The sari competition I don't like anymore. Uh, so even if you go there, it is the clothings, that it is, they discuss about that. So they are the priorities of the worldly life. Now one should rejoice in what? Acquisition of these virtues by which one can walk on the path of this bodhicitta, that towards nirvana. Those qualities, those virtues, as we earn them, that should give us joy. So, I rejoice in the enlightenment of the conqueror, of the conqueror Buddhas, and in the spiritual paths of the Bodhisattvas. With delight I rejoice in the ocean of virtue that arises from generating the mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta. So this becomes the way of life. My joys, because my joys determine where I go to. Whatever gives me pleasure, I go in that direction. So, in Narad Sanat Kumar dialogue in the Chandogya Upanishad, that we were studying last year at Rochester. So Narada was asking what is that, how can I get knowledge and so forth. So one discussion in that is that Sanat Kumar tells that Sukham, the happiness that guides people. Whatever you become happy, you go there. So then Narada says, please explain me about Sukha, the happiness, and it goes further that what is real happiness and so forth. But uh, therefore, where should our happiness lie? We should conscientiously change our source of happiness. Otherwise, what happens? Our source of happiness is a reflection in the mirror. We think that that is what I should get, and we go towards that reflection. And we hit the mirror, hit the glass. We don't get the thing. So we have to and go towards the source, which is exactly in the opposite direction of the reflection. So you start then going towards that. This is how the bodhicitta should work. So it is. So the salutations and praise of Buddhas in all directions, and now you seek the blessings of them. With my palms pressed together, I make this request to the Buddhas residing in all directions. Please continue to shine the lamp of Dharma for living beings lost and suffering in the darkness of ignorance. Because I want to go, please keep that lamp of Dharma shining. A very important idea that the prayers should be directed like that. Just in contrast, see how otherwise our prayers are. The dharma and that is not very important. And the important thing is how my health remains good, what medications I should take, how many doctor's visits I should make, that why the premium of insurance is so big, and so forth. Those instead of that, this must be the concern that let the Bodhi, those all those Buddhas. Buddhas is the plural because so many enlightened ones are there. So let them, they keep the lamp of Dharma shining by their lives. So, to the conquerors who wish to enter parinirvana, with my palms pressed together, I make this request. Please do not leave living beings in the state of blindness, but remain with us for the countless aeons. Remain with us, guide us. So, this person seeks the company of holy, tries constantly to be in the holy company, because with that they are called here the conquerors, means those who have uh, now overcome the forces that drag the sense organs, and gradually they get mired into this samsara, this whirlpool of ignorance. So therefore, now one who wants to conquer uh, takes the help of those who have already conquered. It is, oh, how did you do it? So you ask such persons who are conquerors. In my school exams, when there was some important exam and I had problems with studies, so I would take the help of those who have successfully done it. So I would ask, how did you do this? How did you conduct your studies? Can I see your notebooks so that I will also follow those things? So here these conquerors, the saints, they become our helpmates. So like this it is, and then I say, well, uh, I have to develop this idea, this uh, clarity that the body is just subject to decay and death. Nobody lasts in this world too long, and you, while living also there is the constant decay, process of decay is going on, that cannot be arrested, and that is the nature of time. Things decay, And so all the concerns associated with body should be now subdued, especially the ideas of, somebody may take advantage of me. Here the prayers are wonderful prayers, that uh, through giving all I shall attain the nirvana of a Buddha, and my bodhicitta wishes will be fulfilled. I give up everything for the sake of living beings who are the supreme objects of giving. Give everybody, give everything. It is, uh, since I have given up this body for the happiness of living beings, it will always be theirs to beat, to revile, or even to kill if they please. If they, uh, in the next this thing it says, in the Sanskrit it is more clear, that if they feel that they are becoming happy by that, I don't object to that. It is for their good. I am ready to give up this body. It is, may all those who harm me, whether verbally or by other means, and those who otherwise insult me, thereby create the cause to attain enlightenment. See the great prayer here, that whatever they bad things they do to me, let no curse escape my lips, but the blessings alone. This is a sadhana, friends, that whosoever they hurts me or insults me, and the tendency is normally to curse that fellow back. May you go to hell. It is go to hell. It is, yeah, so it is. But one who wants to develop the bodhicitta now should reverse this trend, that, oh no, even if somebody hurts me, by hurting me, if that person is going to say get happiness, okay, fine with me. uh, Curse, that is why Jesus says, I tell you, love your enemies. This is a great teaching, that a person who wants to move on this path should learn. It is the society, common society is not built on these principles, and they are for those who want to just keep on moving in this samsara. But those who want to get out of it should therefore reverse their uh, neuroprocessings. Their mind should change, their uh, thinking must change. It is that, well, what does it matter? I will bless everybody. That may their path become uh, easier towards nirvana. I will bless everyone. So, and may I become an island for those seeking dry land, a lamp for those needing light, a place of rest for those who desire one, and a servant for those needing service. He goes in this vein for a few verses, that this is what I want, that let this body be held for service to everyone. It is, let me become an island for those who are seeking dry land and so forth. That it is uh, to benefit all living beings, may I become a treasury of wealth. It is for the, not for my pleasures, but for the benefit of all living beings. Powerful mantras, potent medicine, a wish fulfilling tree, and a wish granting cow, but for the benefit of others. It is, may I become all that for that purpose. Just like the great elements such as earth and like eternal space, may I become the basis from which everything arises for sustaining the life of countless living beings. Just as all the previous Sugatas, the Buddhas, Sugata is another name for Buddhas, means went by the right path. Sugata, Gata means the one who has gone. So Sugata, gone by the right path. And the Buddhas, all the previous Sugatas, Buddhas generated the mind of enlightenment and bodhicitta and accomplished all the stages of the bodhisattva's training. So will I too, for the sake of all beings, generate the mind of enlightenment and accomplish all the stages of the bodhisattva's training. It is interesting to note here that I will generate these virtues for the benefit of all. It is when one generates that kind of attitude, it is really the greatest service to the world. It is that the person is becoming unselfish, is not has no axe to grind. It is for everyone to take. So this is many who want to do service to the world. This is the important thing, that do everything, even the spiritual practice should be for the good of all. It is all. There is no particularization here, like only those who are friendly to me, I shall help those who have helped me, and not like that, but to all. This is the bodhicitta, because we need to eliminate the distinctions of mine and yours. And then, now it is the changing a very important attitude. It is very difficult in a way, but very easy also. If we just give a little thought that now my life has borne a great fruit. When one advances in this manner on the great path, what happens? Our social associations connected with the body, they are cut off. That now my life has borne the great fruit. My human life has attained great meaning. Today I am born into the lineage of Buddha and have become a bodhisattva, a instead of, in the lineage of this, the purpose that some genetic connection. No, it is, the Sanskrit words are very beautiful here. The original words. Adya Buddha Kule Jato Buddha Putrosmi Sampratah. That now, today, Adya means today. Now I am born as the child of Buddha. I connect myself now to Buddha's lineage. It is not the lineage of flesh, but the lineage of knowledge. Lineage of flesh, so you just remain in the world of flesh. This is my mother, this is my father, this is my and you perpetuate that this is my child, this is my son, my daughter, and it doesn't stop, continues. That is how it is called samsara. Samyak sarati iti samsara. Means it keeps on going, there is no end to it. Just as there is no end to a circular path, you keep on moving on it. It is circular. So there is no end to it. So this movement in the world has no end, let this be done, then I will be free, then I will do sadhana. Something else is already in the waiting, Nothing, yeah. It is, I remember our Brown University girl, she wanted to come and then pray, and she said, I will come and do some voluntary work also, I like this. And then she, after some days she came, but then said, Swami, now it is so busy at the university, let these 2 weeks and then I will be free. And then I heard this phrase for 8 years, till she went from here after getting becoming a doctor. So, like that. So, these some days I am very busy. After that, then I will, it is so difficult that now, my children and all, I have to take care of my daughter, my son, my so and so. And then, okay, well, it doesn't end. My grandchildren, or somebody's grandchildren, we should help Swami, isn't it? That is real spirituality. It is, self-deception is so common, that nobody cheats us more than we cheat ourselves. So, it is, this is where the lineage must be properly identified. It is, Jesus never identified with the earthly parents. He didn't say, I am son of this Mary and Joseph. I am son of God. Son of God. Everybody is son of God, or son or daughter, whatever you may think, of God. That is the one who made us. And we forget that. It is, that is our real lineage. Swami Vivekananda says, therefore, you are the children of immortality. Amritasya putraha. Children of immortality. We have to connect to that lineage, and he feels so happy about it. You see, now my life has borne great fruit. This is how now it is my human, this personality is showing up. A human being thinks. That is how in human beings the mind, the inner life is far more important than the mere instinctive, thoughtless animal life. So, as we are thoughtless, the animal life, we have the that connection like animals, that it is born of this and so forth. This is my father, this is my mother. But and actually, my father is who is in heaven. That is the divine connection, born of Buddha. So the knowledge, it is in Upanishads and Vedanta, there is therefore these two types of lineages are described. The biological lineage and the knowledge lineage, Pitrukula and the Rishikula. So knowledge lineage. So in Mundak Upanishad, this verse comes that look, that if you realize the truth, then no one in your lineage will be without this knowledge. Now that in your lineage means not the biological lineage, but the true lineage, the one who gets knowledge from you, will get the same result that you got. Because it is the efficacy of knowledge. Because of ignorance, we are in bondage. Are you getting it, Punita? Because of ignorance, we are in this terrible situation. When we get knowledge, then that ignorance and its effects all are gone. And from me, somebody else also gets knowledge. That person also will have the same benefit, because it is not something that is personal. Don't take it personally, as we say. It is the just the truth that whosoever gets the knowledge, that person will be the knower of Brahman, because this is just a matter of knowing the truth. Whosoever knows, that's it. This is the truth, that I am not the body. This is, and whosoever gets it, well, becomes free. It is so simple. So let us make effort to connect our lineage, that I am the son of Buddha. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that that is the development of the ripe ego. The unripe ego, I am so and so, I am son or daughter of this man and this woman, and I work in this business, my earnings are so much, and this is my education. All this is unripe ego. What is ripe ego? I am a devotee of Mother Kali or whatever. Yes, I am connected to God. Connect yourself to divine. I have taken the mantra. Sri Ramakrishna says, think of that as you. I have taken the mantra. I am doing spiritual practice. That is my identity. That is what I am. Change the identity. Do not connect to the animal biological this lineage, but let us strive to think of ourselves as the the descendant of these sages, the Brahma Kula. So it is, or Rishi Kula. When we connect to that, automatically we also get the same knowledge and the same realization. Do you get it, Charlie? Huh? Yeah. Huh? That is how. Huh? What is
No,
why is he laughing at you? Huh?
how can spiritual practice be for the good of all? I think it can only be for the good of a few.
No, it is actually spiritual practice is the only really good thing for everyone. Uh, all other things are, you may think that it is doing good to people world, but as Swami Vivekananda explains, we do not have any idea of what is good of the world. A child, little baby thinks that filling the world with chocolates is the best thing to that one can do to good to the world. So we become are such like children, you know. Somebody thinks that giving everybody enough money is doing good to them. Somebody, all these social fads, they keep on going, you know. It is, that is good to the world. Stop all the banks. There was some time, some years ago, that it is, what was that, our Charlie also used to go for that.
Occupy Providence?
Occupy, yeah. So Occupy. What happened to that? What good did it do? No, you know. But that is how the ideas they come up. This is going to do good to the whole world. As if the world is so small and we understand everything in the world. But when you become spiritually illumined, then that sends the ultimate good waves for everyone. Uh, See, good to the world means removal of suffering. Do you get it? Uh, Good to the world means removing the suffering. And then suffering is caused by what?
Ignorance.
Ignorance. So removal of ignorance, isn't it the remedy for the world?
But you're not going to remove ignorance for everyone.
Well, it is at least one person's ignorance is removed, isn't it? That gives inspiration and guidance to others. So it is like that. It is the best thing that the world can do. At least if one gets, if Charlie gets illumined. I like the Tyagananda, our Tyaganandaji gave it a nice expression when this, but how it helps the others. Well, at least one troublemaker is taken out. So that is good to the world. All my actions from now on, when I am a child of this man and this woman, then my actions are different according to that lineage. But when I am now connected to God, all my actions from now on shall accord with this noble lineage. And upon this lineage, pure and faultless, I shall never bring disgrace. Like people don't do, this is not what is done in our lineage, our clan, our family. We are all people who are generous. Our lineage is of generous people, and I should behave so that my forefathers will not hide their face in shame. It is, yeah, there is this, a very popular expression that our one father, Saint Godard, he used to come here till he passed away almost. Wonderful, this Catholic priest, and very interested in learning Vedanta. So he arranged interfaith meetings at his that Holy Family Church in Woonsocket. It's a big cathedral, huge, and he arranged the interfaith meetings. Immediately, many letters came to him that, oh, my mother donated fortune to this church, and what are you doing here? She must be turning in her grave. Well, as if he is seeing her turning in her grave, you know. She must be turning in her grave in anguish because of what you are doing. The point is, and we hold on to the special characteristics of our lineage. It is and we boast about it. This doesn't happen in our family. It is especially in India. I don't know that custom here. When a newlywed girl comes into this family, she is told if she does something, this may happen in that in our lineage. Such nonsense is not tolerated. The poor girl has to, okay, it is. So always our great lineage, our very good customs and all we should hold on to. But now our lineage is changed. Instead of that physical lineage, now my lineage is divine, and I should not do anything to put shame on these my ancestors, all the Buddhas. I will abide by that kind of rules of life. It is very important when you think of that, your lineage, you don't want to bring bad name to your lineage. So let my actions be such that it will be conforming to the great hoary traditions of my lineage. It is told, it devolves in one great congregation of the devotees. It was told by the president of our order that you are all children of Sri Ramakrishna. Children of Sri Ramakrishna. And so remember, Sri Ramakrishna will be judged by your behavior. People will judge Sri Ramakrishna by how we act. We are children of Sri Ramakrishna, and how we act in this world, that will tell people how Sri Ramakrishna was. So it is our responsibility and not to sully the name of Sri Ramakrishna by our behavior. So that is what he is taking a vow here, that all my actions from now on will conform to that. Just as it is rare indeed for a blind person to find a jewel in the heap of rubbish, so too, by some very rare chance, I have generated Bodhicitta. This is a rare, rare, rare privilege. And one should be proud of that. Yes, I am a devotee. All are not devotees, as that famous verse in Bhagavad Gita says, Manushyanam Sahasreshu, amongst thousands of people, one becomes interested in moving on this path. So uh, it is a very rare thing. Let us remember what a great privilege, rare privilege we have got. that we are now seeing this truth connected to God. And this must really be put in life with great strength, great determination. There will be obstacles, but the obstacles are actually the sources of more determined effort and enthusiasm. There is that obstacle is there, and therefore there is the glory to do that. It is, I told you a nice joke. There was in circus, there are those jokers. They are really very expert, very skillful in these, but show as if to create humor. So uh, this joker was there. He made a circle of the all flames, So all circle of fire, and he came running and went right through that. And people just applauded. Wow, wow, great. Then he made that circle smaller, and people were wondering how will he pass through that, all flames around. But that joker came running and passed through that. He made it still smaller. uh, Barely the person could pass through that, but the joker made through that also. And then people were now looking, what next is he going to do? He has made it still smaller. It was impossible to get through that. All fire and very small compared to the body, and these jokers usually have long such flowing clothes. So now they were waiting with abated this mm, that no breath was going, abated breath. They were watching what he is going to do. He came running, came to that circle of fire and jumped over it. Now everybody laughed. What is there? Nobody jumped and then stood expecting a great applause, and nobody was applauding, just laughing. Hey, what is this? This is no skills are involved in this. Anybody, a child could do that. So our spiritual life is very valuable, worth receiving the applause, because there are many challenges on the way. So each challenge, it is just the way we look at it. Every single challenge is an opportunity to become stronger, more determined, and move forward. This is challenges are not to be, scared off. Yes, there is challenge, and that means now I have to. It is an opportunity to increase my strength, my determination, and move on. So that is the greatness of it. And I am concluding this, that this life again is now so many will be with me, and I will treat them as honored guests, all on the path of this great journey to nirvana, that for the honored guests, the beings on samsara's paths who wish to enjoy the delights of bliss, Bodhicitta will satisfy them all by leading them to the supreme state of bliss. Today, in the presence of all protectors, I invite all living beings to be my guests, to enjoy these temporary and ultimate delights. May gods, demigods, and everyone else be joyful. So thus ends the third chapter, developing this bodhicitta. And we can develop it. The idea is we have to put an effort in that. It is practical. Mm. So never let us have this thought that it is not practical, not for us, and so forth. That is just not right, not truth. If anybody, if I want to go beyond suffering, and who doesn't want to go beyond suffering? Uh, what, Naomi? Do you want to go beyond suffering? Yes, yeah. Everybody wants to go beyond suffering. So this is the path, and simple path, much simpler than the path that we go and get more and more entangled in samsara. It is, people say it is very difficult, as if otherwise it is very simple. This is difficult, as if living in this world, it's very simple. That is also equally, if not more, difficult. One Swami used to say like that in our class. He used to give class to us that, this spiritual life, you have to work hard. But if you don't take spiritual path, okay, then go to the world and work hard. Working hard is common aspect of it. You work hard for the right purpose, right cause, that's it. So, any questions? Yes, Vailuko?
You used the word nirvana quite a few times. I've heard two yogic teachers define it differently, so I wanted clarification on exactly what they mean by nirvana. The one yoga teacher said it was sort of the equivalent of like the experience of nirvikalpa samadhi, and another one said it's the state that that the Buddhists are in after they have that experience, but how they walk through the world. So I was wondering, like, how exactly would you define nirvana?
Both definitions are really identical. Not in effect, they are very similar. That if you have this experience, that's it. Then they work in the world. Well, whether after this experience there is nothing as such. Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And then after Nirvikalpa Samadhi, suppose somebody comes back to this kind of, bodily existence, then how that person will behave, completely free from attachments, always eager to be of service to people. It is. So that also is nirvana. Nirvana, while in the body, nirvana, in the nirvikalpa samadhi, both are nirvanas. There is not much of a functional difference in the two ways of putting it. It is the state of ultimate knowledge. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other question? Is there a question there?
Yes, Maharaj. From Shubha, Pranam. In
Pranam.
portrait of Ramakrishna from Akshay Kumar Sen, Thakur said in Bhav, the amda is low variety among fruits. I can turn it into sweet mangoes, but why should I do it when I have the whole orchard of sweet mangoes available to me? The avatar plays only with the pure devotees. A bit disheartening. Can Swamiji please comment?
Well, avataras, they come actually for those who are not such pure devotees. They come for likes of us. There is an incident when a person had been in the Ramakrishna order, had come to become a monk, And many said, well, this is not a good material. He is callous. He has done in the past many bad things. So turn him out. We need good people here. Swami Vivekananda said that Sri Ramakrishna, the incarnation of God, has come for those who are not so good. Those who are very good, they can find their way without the help of Avatara. The Avataras are for those who do not want to realize God so easily. So they want such people to inculcate faith in them and guide them. So they, if Sri Ramakrishna doesn't say that the avatars won't convert that amda fruit into a mango, it has the looks of a raw mango. And taste also like that. But if there is a whole orchard full of nice sweet mangoes, okay, there is nothing for the incarnation to do there. They are there. The incarnations are for those that to change an amda into mango. Therefore, Girish Ghosh used to say, Narendranath was not miracle of Sri Ramakrishna. Look at me. This is the miracle of Sri Ramakrishna, is that now I am able to sit by the side of Swami Vivekananda. That is the miracle of Sri Ramakrishna. So that is the idea, Shubha. That is for such people that the God incarnates to help them out. Any other question?
Yeah, one more question from Time Dragging. I have heard the terms Stulakash, gross space, second Chittakash, mental space, or our thoughts.
Chidakash.
No, he's written Chittakash.
Chittakash, there are two. There is one Chittakash,
Yes,
and then the third is Chidakash.
Yeah, he's mentioning that.
Yeah.
Second Chittakash, mental space, our thought, and third Chidakash, pure consciousness, awareness that does not dwell in either one or two. Mandukya Upanishad. Could you differentiate from Chittakash and Chidakash, both in pronunciation and meaning?
Oh well, Chidakash is surely, a different pronunciation than Chittakasha. Chitta is a different word, although is derived from the word that Chit, from which it is this Chidakasha. But Chitta means it is an instrument through which the pure consciousness functions. That is called Chittakasha. But Chidakasha is actually not an Akasha. But since we were discussing the space, Akasha, this also was told as space. It is beyond space and time, the consciousness supreme. So, therefore, it is called Akasha, but it is the source of all Akasha. From the understanding that the source also gets that name. So, since it is the source of Chittakasha as well as Sthulakasha, it also gets this term Chidakasha. Although there is no space or time in the pure consciousness. So that is how I can present it. So let us conclude with the Buddha mantras. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I'm making a few mistakes. I caught them.
Good. 2 months accounting, huh? 2 months accounting, right? No, 1 month.
Oh no, I worked with the citizens credit card.
Okay, a little bit by mistake he went to the Oh yeah.